Dr. Patrick Moore, founding director of the CO2 Coalition and a former founding member of Greenpeace, is skeptical of the current climate change narrative and believes that environmentalist organizations have been taken over by individuals with self-interest and a tendency towards doomsday predictions. He has been active in the environmental movement for 50 years and has a background in ecology and evolutionary biology. Dr. Moore's involvement with Greenpeace began when he was doing his PhD in ecology at the University of British Columbia. He was radicalized by events such as the Vietnam War and the threat of nuclear war, leading him to join the environmentalist movement. He was drawn to the idea of peace and protecting the environment, which were the core values of Greenpeace at the time. Over time, Dr. Moore noticed a shift in Greenpeace's ideology towards viewing humans as the enemy of the planet. This change was influenced by Marxist ideologies and a growing fear of chemicals, leading to campaigns to ban substances like chlorine worldwide. He disagreed with this approach, citing the essential role of chlorine in various industries and public health measures. He also noticed a shift towards radical self-interest and fear-mongering tactics, particularly in relation to climate change. He believes that the focus on invisible or remote threats, such as CO2 levels and ocean acidification, has led to a lack of critical thinking and scientific evidence in the environmental movement. Dr. Moore presents evidence of climate and atmospheric composition over a 500 million year period. This evidence is derived from proxies such as oxygen isotopes and the shells of marine organisms. He highlights that for much of this period, the Earth was warmer than it is now, with no ice on the poles. Additionally, carbon dioxide levels were significantly higher than they are currently, yet life flourished abundantly during these periods. Dr. Moore discusses the importance of long-term climate data and the need to consider geological timescales when analyzing climate trends. He emphasizes the significance of observing patterns over millions of years to understand the Earth's climate history accurately. He also challenges the notion that the current climate emergency is based on solid scientific evidence, citing inconsistencies in the data. By presenting evidence of climate and atmospheric composition over a 500 million year period, Dr. Moore raises questions about the validity of the current climate change narrative. He suggests that the focus on CO2 levels and temperature as the primary drivers of climate change may be oversimplified and not supported by geological evidence. He advocates for a more critical and evidence-based approach to understanding environmental issues. Dr. Moore explains that the Earth has gone through numerous glacial cycles characterized by the movement and recession of ice masses. These cycles are influenced by various factors, such as the tilt of the Earth's orbit, irregularities in the tilt, and gravitational forces from planets like Jupiter. He emphasizes that these cycles occur over tens of thousands of years and are not solely driven by human activities. The most recent glacial maximum occurred 20,000 years ago, leading to a mile of ice covering regions like New York and Churchill. Dr. Moore highlights that the Earth is currently in an interglacial period, which typically lasts around 10,000 years. He notes that the Earth has been gradually warming since the Little Ice Age, which occurred about 400 years ago. Contrary to popular belief, Dr. Moore discusses the positive impact of increased carbon dioxide levels on plant growth. He mentions the phenomenon of global greening, where the Earth's vegetation has expanded significantly in the past 20 years. This greening has led to improved crop production and enhanced food security worldwide. Dr. Moore challenges the notion that carbon dioxide is a pollutant and argues that it is a vital nutrient for plant growth. He points out that during the most recent glacial maximum, CO2 levels dropped to 180 parts per million, potentially leading to plant die-offs. Human emissions of CO2 have helped reverse this downward trend and have contributed to a greener planet. Dr. Moore raises concerns about the integrity of climate science, highlighting instances where data manipulation and exaggeration have occurred. He criticizes the reliance on climate models that lack sufficient resolution to accurately predict future climate trends. He emphasizes the need for unbiased research and a more nuanced understanding of the complex factors influencing climate change. Addressing the issue of plastic pollution in the oceans, Dr. Moore challenges the narrative surrounding the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. He debunks the myth of a massive patch of plastic twice the size of Texas, pointing out that most images of the patch are photoshopped. He explains how seabirds benefit from using plastic pieces as substitutes for natural grinding agents in their gizzards. Dr. Moore advocates for genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and highlights the benefits of crops like golden rice. He criticizes the anti-GMO campaign led by organizations like Greenpeace, which hinder the adoption of improved agricultural practices in developing countries. Dr. Moore emphasizes the importance of science-based decision-making in addressing global food security challenges. The conversation delves into the broader implications of politicization in environmentalism and other social issues. Dr. Moore criticizes the woke movement for its divisive and irrational approach to equity and race relations. He highlights the need for rational discourse and scientific evidence in addressing complex societal challenges.